Hello everyone and welcome back to Terraria. Before I go on playing, I have actually got a few changes to show you. Mostly I decided that recording everything would be incredibly boring. But for the sake of not putting you in a world that has a billion changes, I just made another world in expert mode, which I'm basically exploiting for gathering resources and all that stuff. That way this world won't be so completely explored and I will still have fun exploring to do if I want to, which I can do on camera. So you don't miss out all the caves in this world, you just miss out the caves in another world. In another world I've basically gone and looked for platinum, so I now have a full suit of platinum armor, which is pretty cool. I did not bring any accessories because I feel that finding those in chests is kind of it's that fun moment of discovery when you find it, so I decided to not bring any. I found a few, but I just put them in a chest in another world, which basically... I had to make 3 or 4 worlds until I found one that had the same ore configuration as this one, because I want to make sure that any of the ores I get in that world I could also get in this. When I set the worlds to hard mode, it might be that suddenly the world is wrong, in which case I'll have to remake worlds until I get the hard mode ores right, but then I won't care about the other ones because they won't matter anymore. So yeah, there's that. I didn't actually bring them. I went down and went caving and pretty much only took out the platinum until I had enough. And I came across this pretty awesome sword. You can find these in special underground shrines. And there's I think 1 in 3 chance that one of those shrines will actually contain the legendary, well, the enchanted sword. This one happens to have a perfect modifier on it, which is pretty awesome. So it fires this multicolored ray and it auto swings, and it is pretty much one of the best possible weapons pre-hard mode. So I'm very happy I found that. Means I don't need to really worry about my weapon for the moment. I also built a few rooms. These are minimalist rooms. They have a light source and a table and a comfort item, which is a chair. And they are fully enclosed and have a background wall. That's all the NPCs need. This counts as a fully legitimate room for them. I think the only exception would be a hard mode NPC you get later on, which requires the room to be in a specific biome so you can move in. There's a few that sell different things depending on their biome, but as far as I'm aware, there's only one that actually requires a specific biome to be able to move in at all. I also found a bunch of life crystals. I actually found some more, but I decided not to use them. I just put them away. Just in case. I'm not trying not to do too much off camera, but some... because I figure it might be boring and no one specifically said they wanted to see it, so I decided to skip a lot of it. Yeah, and I also went and found fallen stars. The way you do that, you basically wait for nightfall and you run around on the surface of the map, and they just fall down randomly and you can pick them up, and 3 of them form a mana crystal. And each mana crystal increases your maximum mana by 20. So I think I used 9 of them. Yeah, I must have. And 200 mana is the maximum you can get. You can get more by getting accessories that give you more, but the basic maximum is 200. Anything else I would have to get from equipment or accessories. Now the thing I need really are more lenses, and the reason I need more lenses right now is that I think I should be okay to farm the first boss. Now I do have a bunch of wood platforms, which is nice, and I still have some grey bricks and some stone blocks. I'm just checking if I have any more of the grey bricks. You can see I didn't actually get any tin or lead or silver. Tungsten I think I got from something else. Anyway, I didn't get any of that stuff from my other world. I only got the platinum, and actually not too much. I think I used almost everything I had in this world and then just filled up with the other stuff. Again, that's because I mostly don't want to make it... I don't know, I just don't want to do too much stuff off camera without you seeing it, so I decided to... Whoop. Yeah, I decided to only really get what I required to make it less boring. So I didn't get any of the double jump accessories or anything like that. I actually found a lizard in a balloon. I found one of the double jump items anyway, but I decided not to actually use it. Okay, what I'll do now is make a bit of an arena. Did not upgrade my tools as well. I was somewhat tempted, and you can let me know if this is something you'd be deeply opposed to. I've been contemplating this, and it's kind of a bit, I'd say, boring watching me chop down trees forever like this. It just takes a long time. Now the idea is I have a lot of much more advanced equipment in my other world, so stuff that would mine a lot faster. It technically can also mine different blocks, as I've explained. The question is, if I were to get a, for example, much more powerful pickaxe from my other world, I would not be using it for actual pickaxing. Well, not for pickaxing anything that I could not otherwise have pickaxed, if that makes any sense to you. So the question is, would you be okay with me bringing a faster pickaxe from my other world, just for the purposes of building stuff faster? So I'd have equipment that I only use for building and mining and stuff, just to make that a little less tedious. Would that be too cheaty for you? I mean, it kind of is cheaty. The question is, would you be okay with it, or would that simply be too much cheatiness? Let me know. Because as you can see, it just takes a long time to mine each block, and I would definitely do it were it not for the fact that it's really meant to be the case that I can't mine certain things yet. And if I were to bring a super advanced pickaxe, I could mine those things. I mean, I would definitely make sure I don't. But again, it would be slightly cheaty, so again, let me know if that's something you'd be really, really annoyed by. Because I could understand that. Trying to keep this as uncheaty as possible, while also keeping it as interesting as possible. And I always feel that if you do too much of the grindy bits on camera, it gets kind of boring. I've seen a few LPs where someone recorded everything. Basically, I've watched some Terraria LPs over the Christmas holidays. Well, it still is Christmas holidays for me, but over Christmas, because I didn't have enough time in a single slot to record, because, well, there's relatives coming over, there's cooking to be done, all that stuff. Didn't really have the time. But I decided I could at least watch some LPs. And I had at first decided, as I may have said in the videos, that I was going to... There we go. That I was going to show everything I do. But then I've watched an LP of that, and there was a section of 3 hours where all he did was caving. You did find some interesting stuff. So, for example, you didn't see me find this pretty awesome sword I have, which is kind of... I don't know. I would have preferred to be able to show that, but at the time, it was about 5 minutes to our Christmas dinner. And I just had some time to kill, because, you know, people hiding presents and such, and I wasn't meant to be downstairs, so I just kind of went up to my room and, you know, well, might as well use the time and load up Terraria. But then I didn't really have the time to connect my microphone and set up the recording stuff, and all that. Because it takes a bit of preparing to get recording. I need to close everything else on my computer so it doesn't impact performance, and I need to plug in my microphone, and it's kind of on a microphone stand that I need to put into position as well, so that I can have the microphone in front of my face properly, so it obstructs my vision. Well, it doesn't really, but I've just got this fairly large microphone with the pop filter and all that right in front of my face. Well, in front of my mouth, rather. Mostly because it sounds quite good, I feel. Anyway, point is, I didn't have time to set all that up. So I just kind of grabbed the sword and thought, oh well, I'll just explain how I got it. These underground shrines will probably... We will probably come across one or two in this world. I think there's always at least 4 in a large world. And there's also, I guess, always a certain amount in a medium world, which this is. Let's go over here. This, by the way, what I'm building right now is going to be a boss arena. For at least the first boss. And this should be sufficient. And it looks a bit odd, it doesn't really look like much of an arena, and for the first boss this will be fine. I'll have to make it bigger or I have to change it around for other bosses. The reason I'm using this is because I really don't have much in the way of mobility yet. I mean, the only mobility item I really have is, well, I've got the aglet, which gives me slightly increased movement speed. 5%, so that's not much. And I've got the climbing claws, which give me a bit of a wall jump. You can kind of see it here. Like so. But there's a lot more useful mobility items that we'll get later on. Now what I definitely want to make is a campfire. And just kind of plop it down center-ish. And what the campfire does is it gives me the cozy fire, increasing my life regen. Now I believe this only works properly if I'm also well fed, so I'll need food. I don't know if I've got any decent sources of food available to me just yet. I don't think so. So I guess we'll have to do the first boss without too much life regen. But the campfire is just, it gives a bit of health regen, it just makes fighting a little easier. So there's no reason not to use it. There's another item I think I could make from the life crystals called I think, life lantern. Oi, die bunny die. There we go. But since I kind of got the life lanterns off screen, I'm not going to well, I've got the life crystals off screen. I'm not going to make those into lanterns. So yeah, at night I'm going to be needing... Where are they? I know I got some lenses already. I put them in one of the chests. No, I didn't. I've got them in my inventory. Okay. Never mind. Don't need the Eskimo gear. Actually, let me see if I can just quick stack any of this. I can. Do want the lesser healing potions though. I also found this zombie armor dropped from a zombie. It's just a low level sword which you can get quite early in the game. So yeah. I also got some presents. Let me just open those right away. Star anise. Yes, that's nice. Ooh, holly. And a snow hat. We're going to equip the snow hat because it's Christmas. Yay! And holly is a background item. So, to any of you ladies around there, or well, technically any of you fellas as well. Mwah. There you go. And the reason I need lenses is that I can craft the item that you use to summon the first boss using them. Okay, Okay, I also know I have some more pumpkins somewhere. There we go. Now, what do I need to make pumpkin pie? I can apparently craft them. And these would be food items. Well, these would not these would be, these are food items. So I can now be well fed, which is nice. Okay. And then I'll move over here. Water is a bit annoying, but what can you do? It should be about nightfall. So... Haha. Okay, I'm having a fairly easy time killing these slimes now. It's good. One of the changes in hard mode, which I don't think I've mentioned, or maybe I did, I don't know. If you're standing in water in an icy biome, you get the chill debuff, which makes you walk slower. In normal mode, that's not the case. I mean, water already slows you down a bit, but it doesn't give you a debuff. It's just while you're in the water, you're not moving as fast. Unless you have certain other items, but let's not go into that. Let me actually see video settings. Can I change the brightness? I don't think so. That's not brightness. Okay, I don't think I can change brightness. It's going to be a bit dark in the night sections. I'll have to put down some lights, possibly. And you might have noticed, even with my fairly advanced armor set, I'm still not safe by any means. Maybe if I get some truly late game armor sets, I might be able to kind of ignore enemies, but yeah, no guarantees. And these floating eyes, which only spawn at night, they have a chance, fairly good chance actually, to drop these lenses. So that's why I'm going out at night. I'm basically trying to farm lenses, because I think I need 6 of them to farm the first boss, or to make the item that will spawn the first boss. I'll also need to find the place to craft it, which I don't think I've got access to yet. Because you don't just craft it at a workbench, you need a certain altar. Ooh, presents. Yeah, it's Christmas time, as you can see. It's the 27th right now. And during Halloween, the enemies dropped grab bags or something like that. I don't know what they were called, but they dropped certain kind of gift items, consumables that would give you items when you open them. And they also do that during Christmas, but it's, well, they're actually presents. And they contain different items, as you've seen. I've already opened some, and I got the holly and the Christmas hat, or the winter hat, I guess. And that zombie there hit a sword. That's another expert mode thing. That the standard zombies sometimes carry weapons, and that changes their attack range and damage slightly. So, as I said, this is really the way I like difficulty to be done in games. I've had this discussion with someone yesterday while I was streaming. Well, not really a discussion, I made that point that I always find that when all a game does is increase difficulty by making the enemies have more health and do more damage and all that. I mean, it makes it more difficult, but it always feels like the difficulty comes from, I don't know, mindless busy work. So it's not really more difficult, you just have to whack enemies for longer. Whack, not wag. So they just tank more damage, and you also have to be a little more careful and use more healing items. Which obviously makes it more difficult, but I find in the wrong way. Or not the wrong way, just not in the most interesting way possible. I always like when increased difficulty just has more impact on gameplay, that it feels like you're actually playing a more difficult version of the game, not just a version where the enemies have been buffed, or if their numbers only have been buffed. So in this game they actually get some additional AI, some of them. They also get the more health and more damage stuff, but that's not really the most important aspect of the increased difficulty. The most important aspect, I'd say, is, especially in the boss fights, that the bosses actually have additional moves that they can use. And you have longer respawn counters. I just think this game has a good approach to the expert mode increased difficulty thing, which I know I find it quite interesting. How many lenses do I have now? 5. Okay, so I need at least one more. Incidentally, this water is not deep enough to give me the chilled debuff. It's less than a block deep, which means I think the game displays it, but it doesn't count it as you actually being in water. And another present, yay! To get green candy cane blocks and pine tree blocks. Why, hey, we could build a huge Christmas tree from those. I might actually be farming those presents because they don't really contain anything super useful on another world with another character. Because you can get, I think, a pet from them and possibly a mount as well. I don't know. I was actually thinking that maybe for the Christmas episode I should get some Christmas themed items and just look Christmassy. And I actually got all the items, but the problem is they're all fairly advanced hard mode items. So I think it might make it a bit boring. Which means I'm not entirely convinced I'll do it. Maybe I will, I don't know. I don't want normal zombies, I want the floating eyes. Can't be that difficult. Oh yeah, should also notice, this water here is technically... I mean, it's surrounded by grass, not snow. But the way the game calculates biomes is it looks in the vicinity of the player, of where you are right now, or in vicinity of the location where it needs to determine the biome, I guess, which is usually where the player is. But anyway, and it looks around me and it finds that there's a lot of snow blocks, which are cold themed blocks, so it decides there's enough of them to make this a snowy biome. Even though technically this is a grassy area, which would make it a forest biome, but ice overrides forest. So basically, if there's enough ice blocks around you, you will be in an icy biome, even if there's also a bunch of grass around you. And these sort of things are quite important when you're trying to build artificial biomes, because you need to be aware of how many blocks of that specific biome theme you need, and you also need to be careful about one biome possibly overriding another. So that's especially important when you're doing fishing, because the fishing biomes are kind of specific. Oh, I found a shackle. Didn't I already have one? Did not. Well, hey, it just gives me 1 defense. It's not terribly useful, but hey, it's something to have. Yeah, I don't know. Right now, I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll try to prepare for each episode, so I'm basically going to play off screen until I have enough interesting stuff to do assembled, and then give me your lenses, darn. And then I might just record an episode where interesting stuff happens. Alternatively, I'll just play for a few hours and then record for 20 minutes or so, and then if anything interesting happens during the time I'm not recording, it's just tough luck. I mean, I won't have boss fights or anything like that off screen unless I've already done the boss legitimately a few times. For example, there's some later bosses that have fairly rare chances to drop specific items, and I might want those items. One that springs to mind is Terraria, which has a 5% chance to drop a legendary... Well, not... Why would I say legendary? That's from completely different games. It has a chance to drop a rare ham axe, so a hammer and an axe combined, called the axe. Looks like a guitar, basically. It's kind of cool. But it's only a 5% chance to drop, so instead of fighting that boss 20 or 30 times on screen, or on camera, rather, I might just show the fight once or twice and then just do it by myself until I get the item. It's just an example. I might not actually want the axe. I mean, it's a cool item, but I'm not 100% sure I really will want it, basically. Oh yeah, incidentally, just in case you haven't noticed, the sword swings a lot faster than it can shoot projectiles. So I think it shoots about 1 projectile per second, maybe. But it can swing faster, so not every swing will produce a projectile. And I've just defeated the 50th zombie Eskimo, which means I get a banner. That was changed at some point. Banners used to be only, I think they were random drops, so every enemy had a 1% chance or something to drop its banner. Whereas now, every 50 enemies, exactly, you just get the banner of that enemy. And I really did not get enough. Oh, I did get enough lenses, okay. I did not notice those last two. Now, did I already find an altar, is the question. I don't think I did. So I'll need to make my way to one. Oh, hey. I really like the way they did the holiday stuff in this game, the events. So at Halloween, the bunnies were dressed up as slimes, and the slimes were dressed up as bunnies, just to slightly confuse the player. But if you really had a look, you could tell which one were which. And at Christmas, the slimes have like little present things around them, so it's like they're gift slimes. And the word gift to a German is kind of funny, because obviously what it means is it's a word for present. But the German word gift, which it's also a German word, means poison. And I don't know if you've ever been with if you ever had Christmas with a family that's not too, I don't know how to phrase it, but sometimes there's a lot more negative thought goes into presents. So people might not be thinking, oh, what would be something that person really likes, but rather it might be something like, what can I give that person to make them feel bad or to kind of make a point? So I don't know, someone who's a bit forgetful, or maybe someone who's a bit lazy, is never doing his chores around the house, might be getting some kind of, I don't know, diary planner so that he doesn't forget those anymore. Just kind of, some people in their gift giving try to make jabs at other people. Oh, you always forget your housework, so I got you this planner so you never forget it again, because I'm really sick and tired of you not doing the housework. Stuff like that. So the notion that a gift might also be kind of poisonous, it's just funny. It's not very funny, but it's kind of funny. I'm really hoping to at least craft the item to summon the boss. But I'd have to find the relevant... I need to find an altar, basically, underground, and... they're not super common, at least not in every biome. Oh dear, ant lines. I do not want to mess with those yet. I guess I can. I have the sword that's definitely strong enough, but... oh dear, slime are falling from the sky. But not really. Oh, yes, really. Okay, fair enough. We're going to be fighting a different boss then. I hope this is not too boring, but basically this is a specific event which can happen. I don't know what triggers it. I think it might just be because I now have enough health. There's a bunch of events that cannot trigger until at least one player has over a certain amount of health. It might be one of those things. I don't know. But yeah, as you can see, slime are falling from the sky. That's exactly what's happening. If I kill enough slimes during this event, a boss will spawn. And that will then be our first boss. It's generally considered the weakest of the bosses in the game, but I've never fought in an expert mode. Actually, I've played in expert mode, but mostly kind of after the fact, so I went with a super powerful character that I'd just kind of been playing with already, and made a new world in expert mode to farm some of the expert mode items, because every boss has a specific item that they only drop in expert mode, and I just wanted those. So I basically created a new world, but I went in that world with my super overpowered character, who had all the high-end endgame equipment. So I had, with that character, I'd finished the entire game, and I'd really, well, finished in as much as you can finish this game. But yeah, basically he had all the items you could get from fighting the final strongest boss in the game. Everything. So kind of powerful. And then I just went in and fought all the bosses once to get their specific items, because they're guaranteed to drop them. And that's most of my combat experience from expert mode. Oh, Spelunker potion, that's nice. Slimes can sometimes contain potions, which is kind of cool. You can actually see when they contain a potion. I'll try to draw attention to it when I see it. It might not be that easy to see, you might have to go into full screen mode. Or if you have got a ridiculously large screen, I guess just go into 1080p, if your screen can handle that without full screen. I'll see if I can find one and draw attention to it. But yeah, basically a lot of stuff, a lot of the bosses I fought in expert mode, I really only fought in the easy mode sense that, well, the early bosses, even in expert mode. This green slime here, for example, you can kind of see it's got something inside it, and when we kill it, we get 11 tin ore. I think I may have mentioned that before, but yeah, it's kind of a fact. That slimes can contain stuff. Ooh, I do find the slimes with the bows around them kind of cute. It's just, even though the game's graphics are really simplistic, and I think SNES style, I mean, the SNES could not have handled this game, but it kind of, I seem to recall that that's where the graphics inspiration comes from. Anyway, it's very simple, it's easy, it's kind of small sprites and really very pixelated, but I just find it has an incredible charm to it, and I just love how the game looks. I always find that a simple graphic style, but well executed and, I guess, consistent, works a lot better and ages a lot better than a super advanced graphic style that tries to strive for photorealism. Because those tend to age very badly, because, well, 2 years from now, the graphics technology will have just advanced to the point where it will no longer look super good, it'll just be a bit quaint. So, for example, if I look at Oblivion, which used to be, wow, the graphics in this game are so amazing, or Skyrim as well, and you look at it a few years after release, and yeah, I mean, you can still play it, it's not terrible, but the really the wow effect of, oh my god, these graphics just made me come, that just doesn't happen anymore. It's just, technology has advanced to the point where graphics like Skyrim are no longer super special. It's the same with movies. When movies are based around almost exclusively the super advanced CGI, and 5 years from now, the CGI that was super advanced is just kind of meh. This is what hobby filmmakers can do in, I don't know, Windows Movie Maker now, or something like that anyway. And so, games or movies that's... Ah, there we go, King Slime. I just wanted to show this, so this episode might be a bit long and boring, but there's King Slime. He can teleport. I don't know how dangerous he is, actually, in expert mode. Oh, fairly dangerous. Okay, I'm going to die, probably. No, don't jump on me. No, I don't want to die. Jump high, thank you. I definitely need to dodge under him. As he does that high jump, okay. Well, I might not die. It's kind of predictable where he goes. Okay, I might still die. Yeah. No promises. Okay. Cooldown on my healing potions ran out, so I can heal again. Oh dear, wow, he does do a lot of damage when he touches me. It's over 50 damage, so that's kind of bad. And I can't get under him unless he does the high jump. That one. The small jump is just not enough time. Ow, 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 ow. Don't want to die, don't want to die, don't want to die. I'm going to die, going to die, going to die. Ow, 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 ow. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. No, 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 don't go. Ah, so close. How much did he have left? 232. Darn. The problem is, if you die during a boss fight, the respawn counter will be a lot slower. And the boss despawns. So yeah, King Slime is now gone. It's a bit sad. I mean, I will have gotten a bunch of gel. Where's the gel? 365. Yeah, that's quite a lot. And Slime is still falling from the sky, but the boss despawns. It's like that with all the bosses. If you die to them, they despawn. In multiplayer, of course, everybody has to die to them. Oh, Pinky. I want Pinky to die. Don't you dare go away, Pinky. You have to die. They drop pink gel, which isn't so important, but they have a increased chance to drop the slime staff, and I really want the slime staff. Now you can all just die. Normal slimes have a 1 in 10,000 chance to drop the slime staff, and the pinky ones have a 1 in 100 chance. Maybe I should have tried to make it to the arena and fight the boss here. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to finish this event. It should now just kind of stop at some point. So yeah, sadly I did not manage to beat the boss. My arena was not ideal. I kind of made a lot of mistakes there. And then that last teleportation attack just kind of finished me off. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. And next time we will probably be facing the first boss you kind of have to fight. King Slime is kind of an optional one, that doesn't always happen. And next time we'll just do the first one that does always happen. So I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.